welcome to Anything Goes Network. I'm Dan, and today is going to be my first review video. That's right. I'm doing a review of the first episode of the new show, just came out, The Last of Us. Woo! Now, um, if you don't know, which I don't know, there's some people out there that probably don't. The Last of Us was a PlayStation exclusive video game. It came out back in 2013. Um, and it was one of the biggest games out there. To this day, it's one of the biggest games. It's one of the best. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the best games they've made. Um, but yeah, so 10 years later, they decided to make an HBO show about it and adapt it into a television series. And today, it just dropped. 9 p.m. The first episode dropped on HBO Max, and I'm gonna talk about it. Just got done watching it. I'm gonna record this, talk about it, and tell you what I think about it so far. So for me, I am a little. I guess you could say I'm a little biased. I played the game back when it came out, and enjoyed the crap out of it. It was fantastic, great story. I love the story of The Last of Us. So being able to see how what they do with it into a television show is pretty fucking cool. As long as they do it right. Now, um, all I can say is I really enjoyed the game. I was very excited about the show. Um, and actually, it was funny. This show has actually made me get HBO Max to watch the show. Well, actually, what it is made me log back into HBO since I haven't been logged in so long, and they have just been taking my money because that's how it works these days. You have all these subscriptions that you just keep, and then years down it goes years without seeing anything, and then something pops up, and you say, "Oh," and then you have to log back in. That's pretty much what the situation was. I seen this was coming out today. I about noon, I got on there and I was like, oh, go log back in, realized it doesn't even come out. It's just like, wait for fucking Christmas. I had to wait till 9 p.m. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting until 9 p.m. doing my thing. And finally, it gets to that time, and I go and get my jammies on, and I get my bowl of lemon cheesecake ice cream. By the way, I found that this weekend, and it is fantastic. Anyway, so I go and I'm ready, and we hit start. And I got to tell you, from the beginning, now here's the difference. Obviously, there are going to be differences between the video game and the television show. But as a person that is a fan of this video game, you want it to be as close as possible. You want the story to be pretty spot on. You want certain scenes to happen the way that you have it in your mind. As someone coming in there knowing the video game and watching the show, that's how you come in. You're like, I know what's about to happen, and I this is what I see in my head. I just hope that they get close, right? Obviously, I'm not going to show any clips on there. That's just gonna that'd be obviously that'd be a bad idea. So I'm not going to show anything. I'm just going to talk about it. Um, and so the show starts, and I got to tell you, as a person that has known the story for years and has played the video game, at least for the first episode, they knocked it out of the park. They knocked it out of the park. Let me tell you, the people they chose to play the characters. So the main characters, there's going to be Joel, there's Ellie, the actors that they've chose, spot on. Actually, it was, for Joel, spot on. For Ellie, I still don't know. Ellie was a small part. She was mostly in the second half of the episode, and she was only in there for a little bit. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But you start out For the premise of The Last of Us, if anybody doesn't know, there ends up being a fungal infection that takes over that kind of turns into, almost like a viral infection, but it's with through fungi instead, which is pretty much uncombative against medicines and whatnot, and really takes over, and it's quick. So in a way, it's like zombies, but they always got their own spin on it, of course. Um, and that's the long and short of it. It's basically they start out from when it breaks out, and then once that scene happens, which is a good 40 minutes of setup, it goes forward to 20 years later, and then it does another setup of what basically the show's going to be throughout, and then they introduce Ellie and what her part is. Trying not to spoil anything. I know most people that are going into this show know what's happening because they've played the video game. But I know that there's also people that are gonna just watch the show, probably never even heard of the Last of Us, because they don't know anything. They don't bother with video games, and they see the new show and they're like, "Oh," So I'm trying not to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't or doesn't know anything about it. Um, I gotta say, from the beginning to the end, I was absolutely hooked. I don't know if it's my bias talking. I think the acting was great. I think the story was fantastic. I think that they wrote it wonderfully. Because since it is a television show, I think it has to be a little bit slower paced, with the talking scenes and more setup instead of like, since you're, not in a video game, literally controlling the character and going through the long scenes of just playing a game. It's turned into you just watch it happen. I think that the way they did it was fantastic so far. And there are parts in the show, like there's a specific scene in the beginning that goes for about probably 5 to 7 minutes long. And this scene, frame by frame, almost is exact. I would love to sit there and take that scene and clip it out and then take that same scene from which would be a cut scene into the video game and play those both side by side to see how close they actually were. And almost frame by frame, word for word, all the action, and it was an action scene. It wasn't like a monologue or a talking or a conversation. It was an action scene, and it was full of just so many things. And it's a really great fucking opening that really hooks you in. And I felt like I was 10 years ago for the first time watching that cutscene on my PlayStation 3, uh, just ready to go in and fucking play the game. And then, of course, the scene ends and the controller's not in my hand, and I just have to sit here and watch it. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think that it was great. It was fantastic. They did a perfect job there, and it just was amazing to watch that into a TV show. For me, I thought that was amazing. They did such a good job on it, and it just went go from there. Now from when I mentioned earlier, Ellie. They introduced Ellie for the first time in about like the second half of the episode, and the only thing that was like weird to me, I don't remember it back when I first played, but I don't remember Ellie being as vulgar as she is in the show. Now that's not like really a problem. Plus, she was a small part in the game, or a small part in this episode specifically. So, but it felt like every time she was on the screen, she would just be screaming "fuck you" or "what the fuck." Like she would always have some, and it would be like the one line she had in that scene, and it just felt kind of awkward, a little, because it was like that. I just don't remember it being like that right off the bat in the video game. And that's the problem with being there. Like I played the video. There's gonna be differences, and that's hard not to nitpick it, especially when you liked the story of the game so much. So the changes that you see in the show, you might not like so much, as much, but the way I felt when the first couple scenes you see her in and she's just screaming, and the circumstances that are in the show that's in the scenes, it's not like it doesn't call for it. It's not like out of the blue or anything. It just felt like as soon as she's on screen, they like make her say "fuck you," and then it just goes and moves on. Like I didn't really get that. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. It wasn't like anything that turned me off completely because she is like that once in a while, but I think she's more of a witty character. Like she's a lot smarter. She'll get you without cursing, So I just all in all, I had a great time. It was a fantastic episode. I can't wait for more. I can't wait to see what happens. Um, I don't I don't know. I really hope that they keep going with this. I know sometimes the first episode it's like goes into strong and then it kind of drops off in some of these shows. Maybe. I really hope it doesn't. I hope it just keeps on growing to be one of the best and another one of the best shows ever. I really do. I think that they knocked it out of the park in the first one with everything. I also would like to do a review of every episode. Hopefully that happens. But as the name of this channel is, it, oh my god, excuse me. As the name of the channel goes, anything goes. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you guys seen this or watched this like I did, if you guys played the video game and then watched the show, comment below. Tell me what you guys thought. Did you guys think I just did the same thing as me? Did you guys? Was it awesome? And if you've never heard of The Last of Us, or if you've never played the game, you don't know anything about the story, what did you think? Was it confusing as hell? Like, do you not know what's going on? Because I know the whole story now. So going in, I already know what's supposed to happen, right? So I wasn't like confused, but like I can't come in there fresh with a fresh mind either. I can't erase my memory and watch this episode again to see if it was like confusing or whatever. So comment below if you guys haven't seen or haven't played the game and you don't know anything about the story. Was this because they do a lot more setup in the show than they would in the game for this amount of time? Like right from the beginning, they're like, boom, there's a scene. Hey, this is what's happening. Here you go, and then they start. Like they don't do that in the game. They just here you go shoot stuff, right? Um, yeah, just comment below. Let me know. If you like this, like it, subscribe. This is a new channel. I know it's hard. If you're still watching this and you clicked on this, I appreciate it. If you hit the subscribe button, it'll hit that bell. Let them know when I got new videos coming out. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I'm a new channel. I got a little bit of people following me. I know it's hard to click on videos with no views. So just let me know. Hit that like button, comment below. Let's have a conversation about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was stupid as hell? Should they have never made it? Can you not wait until next Sunday? For me, I can't wait. I'm ready. I want to go again. And I'm sitting here up at 10:50 p.m. I gotta be to work at 5 in the morning. Like I'm fucking I never stay up like this, especially for a TV show. Like I don't do this. I haven't been this anticipated for a fucking television show in years. I'm talking like since like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones type of shit. Like, there's very few shows that I'm like, oh, I'm waiting, eating ice cream, waiting for it to be able to push play on, and it just knocked it out of the park. But so far, I mean, first episode, I'm talking 9 out of 10, like a solid 9 out of 10. We'll see at the end of the series what it's gonna be as a whole, but each episode I'll give a bit of a one, scale rating on it. Yeah, I mean that's really all I got to say. All right, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.